it's me. I started all of this. I started it.
You started it and you're gonna finish it.
Yeah, I'm going to tell the story again about how I dove into Lenny Kravitz because I tell it all the time because it's hilarious. But yeah, I grew up listening to like rock and roll Lenny Kravitz. That's the first Lenny Kravitz that I heard, and so that's when I started digging into his music, and it didn't sound like that. I was like, blah, and I just went on with my life. I was like, oh, he's not rock and roll.
Yeah.
And then I just listen to something every now and again. Raised Vibrations, his album came out in 2018. They had some bad reviews about it or whatnot, so I really didn't take the time to really listen to it. And then in 2024, as I was going through my mental health journey, uh, Lenny Kravitz album Blue Electric Light came out. And that song that you were talking about, Coach, TK421 came out. And I saw the video before I listened to the song, and I was single and I was very much lonely. And I watched it over and over and over and over again to the point and over and over again to the point to where YouTube was like, oh, you really like Lenny Kravitz. Let's give you a playlist of some of his songs.
You know he's got other songs too, right?
That TK421.
All million views. Sontia Soul.
And so that playlist started playing, and I was like, wait a minute, I didn't even know that he even sounded like this. And so I took the time to listen to every one of his albums, and I realized that Lenny Kravitz this whole time has been preaching love, self-acceptance, and power this whole time. Didn't even know. Had no idea.
Yeah.
So that is going to lead me to my number one, which is off of Blue Electric Light, which is my favorite song, and it's Human. And it's talking about being unapologetically you. I'm going to raise my head to the sky. I'm going to walk in step in pride because I came here to be alive. I'm here to be human. That is my jam. And it's my motto. It's my mantra. It's my lifeblood. I love that song. I love that concept. And I love that for this album, after going through all of them, that this seems like the album where he's really free. Like he's really just being who he is now, like who he's grown into. Because a couple of the albums sounded kind of like he was just, some of them were preachy, like Baptism, the album that he did in 2004. And I know Prince was a Jehovah's Witness. And I actually converted to a Jehovah's Witness when I was 15 until I was about 20 when I wanted to have lots of premarital sex, which I didn't get to because I kept getting into relationships. I should have just been a hoe. But like he...
The deathbed. I think that's going to be all of our regrets. On our deathbed. I should have just been a hoe.
I should have just been a hoe.
No, I nailed that from like 14 to 18. I got my hoeing out. I mean, not, don't get me wrong, but I think I got my hoeing out. I'm pretty fortunate.
I'm happy I love that for you.
Thank you.
But what I was saying about the Lord was that is that after I converted, I learned like the stuff. And so in the in that album in Baptism, there's a lot that he was saying that was kind of part of the church criteria or information. So I heard that in there. Yeah. That doesn't have anything to do with my number two. Oh, yes, it does. It does. I didn't even know that tied in. Number two song, What Did I Do With My Life? And I actually heard this on the NPR Tiny Desk.
Yeah.
His concert. He did like his 15 minutes. And essentially that song is talking about like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, are you going to do something with your life? Are you going to be somebody? Are you going to speak up for yourself? Are you going to grow? Or are you just going to sit there, And it's not preachy like that, but it's more like you have the opportunity to do anything that you want to with your life. So what are you going to do? Just like ask yourself that question. And when it came on this morning while I was driving, and I was like asking myself that question, because that's been sort of something that's been marinating in my mind. Just kind of watching the disarray of the world right now. So what do you want to do? What do you want to speak up about? What do you want to what do you want to be known for in this side of history? So that reminded me of, I'm either, nut up or shut up. Number 3 was Taken by Someone. So I had to change it to something else on that album, Circus, which is Can't Get You Off My Mind.
Yeah.
And I can't get that song off my mind because I keep walking around going, I got a pocket full of money. And I just got my tax refund back. So I do. I have digital money in my pocket that is going to be spent in about 45 hours.
Is this podcast over? The Amazon list. Lenny Kravitz posters all over the wall.
I got some looking at. I'll send you one if you want to buy me one. Oh.
We can do life-size cutouts of Lenny Kravitz at the job, so
Man, he was in Vegas or something. It's not a whole lot. Well, it's not like a ton of money. He's supposed to be at a festival somewhere. I saw it to where it was like $300 for a ticket.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have $300.
Enough gas to get there.
And enough gas to get there. I just need to see him. And then the other, I don't know, $245 I'll just use to find cool people with fun candy. So that's it. I'm going to get us canceled. I'm so sorry.
It ain't happened yet. I think we're good.
Okay, that'll work. Number 4, I am going to go ahead and go to Raise Vibration, which is the 2018 album that I completely ignored, that I fully love now.
Yeah.
Fully love now. The critics that were talking about it were dickheads. They didn't know what they were doing. They were just being hateful and spiteful because they were looking for some old Lenny Kravitz, and it was just too new for them. They just couldn't stand the sound, and they were like, he was trying to make a mantra like "Let Love Rule," and he just fell short, and so forth and so on. And I was like, not really. But yeah, Raise Vibration, off of Raise Vibration, and it's talking about raising your vibration. Like, get your shit together. You're right here. We're gonna need you out here. We're gonna need you to just get yourself together. Hold your head up. And I like it because it just starts off with vocals and guitar. And then all of a sudden there's drums. And then vocals and guitar. And all of a sudden there's drums. And you're on this trip and you're like, where are we going with this? And then like it just progresses into this almost tribal sort of rock and roll situation, and then all of a sudden you're just punched in the face with rock, and he's like, raise vibration. You better raise. And I was like, okay, I'll get it up there, Lenny Kravitz. Jesus,
anything for you, Lenny.
Anything for you. All right, last but not least, I didn't want to do anything obvious, but I'm not going to. I'm going to go back to Blue Electric Light, because this song is, for a while, was just played over and over and over again because it reminded me of toxic relationships, and it's Paralyzed.
Yep, I knew that's the one you were going for.
Great one.
It was about what I replaced my kickoff with, my number one with, but
on my honorable mention, almost used it. Great song.
Oh yeah, it's an amazing song, and I like how he just touches on every part of just getting like stuck on somebody to the point to where you can't even move, and it's not always toxic. Sometimes it's just good fun, but it's still like, how dogs get stuck. It felt like that song does.